Hello there. In this video, I'm going to share with you everything that I know about wrist pain with doing handstands in calisthenics from 4 years of my experience in calisthenics. And I've had several wrist injuries myself, and I know how frustrating it can be. To help you avoid all that frustration, I'm going to share with you how you can recover from wrist pain if you're injured already, a hack that you can use in order to instantly reduce the wrist pain, even instantly reduce the wrist pain when doing handstands, even if you already have wrist pain. What you should do before, during, and after your workouts, how you should train the handstands if you have wrist pain already, and so on. And the list goes on. So yeah, let's get straight into it. The first thing that I want to mention is that if your wrists are already injured, then don't do anything that causes your wrist pain. Give it some rest. Don't push through the pain. And I've had a couple of wrist injuries myself, and it would usually take me from 2 or 3 days to 2 or 3 weeks for my wrists to recover. You can still do your workouts, it's absolutely fine, but make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your wrists. Otherwise, they will not recover if you're putting too much pressure on them. The second thing you need in order to have healthy wrists is warming up. Now, this is the part that's probably the most neglected by calisthenics beginners when they are starting out. And I admit I was guilty of this too when I was starting out in my calisthenics journey. But I promise you, you will never see a calisthenics athlete who does superhuman skills not warm up. And even if you see someone who is strong but he doesn't do warm-ups, then it's only a matter of time until he gets injured. So don't skip your warm-ups because it's absolutely essential if you want to have healthy wrists. Now, for warm-up, let me share with you a couple of exercises that I use myself in order to keep my wrists healthy. So the first exercise, one of the exercises that I do, the first one is wrist circles on the floor. So you basically put your wrists on the floor and you do 360 degrees like circles like this. I firstly start doing it when I'm on my knees. I just do circles like this. And then I just get in a push-up position like this, like I put my legs back like in a plank. And then I do it like this. This is much harder. And it also requires you to activate your core as well. So it's a pretty good warm-up for your wrists and for your entire body as well. So this is the first exercise that I do. The other exercise that I do is dynamic palm stretches. This is pretty simple. You just put your palm like this and you do dynamic stretches. For example, I can do like 5 or 10 reps for a couple of sets. I do it like this with my right arm, then with my left arm. And I also do it like this as well in order to warm up the entire part of the forearm. So I do it like this and like this. Then the other exercise, the other very important thing that you need to do is also, for example, it's doing the progression of the easier progression of the exercise you're going to do. So for example, if you're about to do handstand push-ups in your workout, it's a very smart idea to do pike push-ups for your warm-up, because you're going to tell your body that, hey, we're getting ready for this hard thing, but before we start doing this hard thing, handstand push-ups, we are doing pike push-ups in order to make our body ready for handstand push-ups. And also the other exercise that I like is just simple wrist rotations. I just do it clockwise and then anti-clockwise. And yeah, that's it. Now the third tip that I wanted to share with you is do your general handstand workout, and once your wrists start to get tired, once your wrists start to hurt a little bit, stop your handstand workout. Don't do handstands because you can injure your wrists. After you're done with the handstand, finish your workout, do other exercises if you have in your workout. Then after completing the workout, do some exercises to strengthen your wrists. Now, one of my favorite exercises that I'm using right now in my workouts to strengthen my wrists is doing cable curls. I don't know if that's the right name of the exercise. I named it myself. I saw it in in one of Ian Barsigel's videos. So I'm gonna insert the footage of that exercise in this video, but generally I just grab a cable, put it on the bench, and then I just do curls with my wrist like this, and it really helps to strengthen the forearm and the wrist overall. And I really love this exercise. This is one of my favorite exercises. In case you're not going to the gym, if you're not going to the gym, you can strengthen your wrists with dumbbells. You can just you just grab a dumbbell, put your hand on a stable surface, and just do wrist curls like this. You just do wrist curls like this, and you do it onto the other side as well in order to avoid any imbalance. If you don't have anything at all, and you only have the floor, you don't have dumbbells, you don't have cables or anything, you can also do exercises on the floor as well. So for example, one of the exercises that I like is this one, where you just put your wrists on the floor. Make sure your fingers are separate from each other, so that the surface area is like greater, you know. And then you just go forward with your body and you push back with your wrists. So you go forward and you push back with your wrists. This is a really great exercise to strengthen your wrists, and you push back. Go forward and you push back with your wrists. Go forward and you push back with your wrists. This is a great exercise to strengthen your wrists and to prepare them for the handstand. There are also other exercises, for example, exercise like this, when you put your wrists on the floor like this and you just do this. These are all exercises that can help you strengthen your wrists on the floor. I generally don't do strengthening exercises on the floor because I like the cable version of that exercise more, but you can still do these exercises in case you don't have dumbbells or cables or any equipment at all, and you just have the floor. You can still do it. So you did a good warm-up, you finished your workout, you strengthened your wrists at the end of the workout. Now the last thing that you can do in order to make sure that your wrists are bulletproof is do some static stretching. As you probably saw, I shared some dynamic stretches in the beginning of this video in the warm-up section, and the difference between dynamic stretches and static stretches is the duration. Static stretches are usually 20, 30, 40 seconds long, while dynamic stretches are around 5 seconds long. And you should do dynamic stretches in the beginning of your training, preferably in the warm-up part, and you should do static stretches at the end of the workout. After you're done doing all the exercises, so these are the exercises, this is the end of the workout, you do it at the end of the workout, you finish the workout at doing static stretching. Now, you don't have to go religious with this, just do like 2-3 sets of 20 to 30 second holds of static stretching, and you're good to go. Some of the exercises you can do are one of my favorite exercises that I do at the end of the workout for my wrists are palm stretches. I think they're called this way, I don't know, I just call them palm stretches. So as I showed you in the dynamic version, you did like 5 to 10 reps of this. In the static, in order to make it static, you just have to do it like this, and you just need to hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. Do it for 2 or 3 sets. Make sure to do it for both sides, and you're good to go. This is a pretty good exercise. The other exercise that you can do is a harder version of it, and it would be by putting your hands on a dumbbell or on P-bars and doing it that way, or on some higher surface. Let me show you how it looks like. So for example, I grab a P-bar, I put it on the floor, and instead of doing the stretch with my arm, I'm actually putting my hand on a higher surface, and I'm doing something like this. And by doing so, the range of motion increases, and so you're getting a better stretch in your wrist. So this is also a really good stretch, but I would say this is more advanced. If you're just starting out, I think it's best to do just regular wrist stretches with your hand, and then as you get better, you can move on to doing the stretch with a P-bar. So yeah, that's how it is. Now, here's the hack that I promised to share with you in the beginning of this video that will instantly reduce the pressure and the pain that you have in your wrists when you do handstands. And the good thing about it is that it's pretty simple to do and really easy to implement. Now, in order to do this, we're going to place our wrists on an elevated surface. So when we put our wrist on an elevated surface, the angle between our wrists and the surface will decrease. And because the angle decreases, so does the pressure that is being put on our wrists. So the angle becomes less steep, and because it becomes less steep, the pressure that is being put on our wrists also becomes less. So in order to demonstrate it for you, let me show you this way. So for example, when you take a P-bar, if you put a P-bar like this, you're not gonna, this is just the regular grip. The hack version of this would be putting the back part of it on an elevated surface. So when you put your wrist on it, the angle between your wrist and the P-bar actually decreases. So the pressure that is being put on your wrists also decreases. For example, if you don't have a P-bar and you just want to do it on the floor, the best way that you can do it is by putting something beneath this part of your wrist, of your palm. So it can be a towel, it can be a t-shirt, it can be a sweatshirt like here. I'm gonna demonstrate it right now for you. So this is, you just put it like this, and we put it like this, and then you put your wrist, I hope you can see it, you put this part of your palm here, so that the wrist is now elevated. If before that, the angle between my wrist and the surface was something like this, like it was very steep, now the angle is something like this, so it's less steep and less pressure is being put on my wrist. So let me show you how it looks. You just put your arm on an elevated surface. I'm using a sweatshirt in my example. You do it like this. You can immediately feel that the angle is less, and then you just enter the handstand. And then you just enter the handstand like this. Yeah, it wasn't the most perfect handstand, but I hope you can get it. And as soon as I did it like this, I immediately felt that less pressure is being put on my wrist because of the less steep angle that we made, because we put our wrist on an elevated surface. I hope I explained it properly, because it's a little bit, it's not complicated, but sometimes it can be a little bit complicated to explain it, especially when English is not your first language. But I hope it was clear. You just put your wrist on an elevated surface, the angle between your wrist and the surface decreases, and because the angle decreases, the pressure that is being put on your wrist also decreases, which reduces the pain that you have and allows you to do handstands pain-free. So yeah, I hope it's useful. And so yeah, I just shared with you everything that I know about wrist pain from 4 years of my experience in calisthenics. I have nothing else to add. I shared the hack with you that helps you decrease the pain. I showed you what you should do before, during, and after the workout, how you should train. Also, if you're injured, how to recover properly from wrist injuries. And yeah, I have nothing else to add. Everything I know, I shared it with you right now in this video. So I hope it was useful and you're going to implement this and make a lot of progress in calisthenics. So I have nothing else to add. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.